one job.
Welcome back to Corporate Underground, where we are busy herding dogs and cats. Today's topic of conversation, we're talking about who you should work for. This is both in a corporate environment, but also you as a business owner. So we're going to talk this across both spectrums. Right, Tony, you've never worked for somebody, but so you can only really talk as a employer and for the clients you want to chase. Yeah. Tell me why you think it's so important to get really clear on who you should work for.
I think when I started out in the business, and it was kind of like, if someone would ask, do you do this? And you wouldn't even know what it was they were asking. You'd have to Google it after they finished, and then but you'd say yes, to it, because like they had money and they'll say they're willing to give it to you.
Somebody likes me.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't care if they like me. They've got money. Like they said they'll give me money, and right now that means I can buy groceries this week. So that's special. So you do start out like that, and then you sort of get to a stage where you start going, something doesn't sit right. Like you just know it's not right, but you talk yourself into it, and I find that always interesting. You talk yourself into it, because I only assume this might be what it's like for employees as well, but for work, I would always talk myself into doing or signing up that client. And then I stopped doing that. And it took me a long time. But the second I stopped doing that, the ones that were unpleasant were much easier to identify, because I still talked myself into it. So I still felt like I shouldn't. But because it was less frequent, I started to really understand. It's like, wow, I signed up this person but doesn't feel right, and then they are just unpleasant or terrible, or it blows up in your face. You're like, well, there it is. I should have trusted my gut and not signed up that person as a client. So I think it requires a bit of security, but the other thing is I honestly do believe, even if you're not secure yet, as in you don't have hundreds of clients yet, I believe if you start that from as far at the start as you can, so as close as you can, start doing that, you're going to fill up anyway, because you'll get the right referrals, you'll get the right sort of people, you'll work better, you'll be happier. Like it just ticks every box that you'll actually get more work out of it if you start being picky with who you work with. What about you, Matt?
Look, sorry. Again, Tony, I'll probably be a little bit similar to you. I've pretty much always worked for myself from the age of 12. I had a paper run, and then I had a lawn mowing business, and I hired other people. For me, it was how I could get the most return out of what I was doing. But who you should work for is probably someone that you actually are inspired by, or somebody that can do something that you can't. Who you should work for? The people that can allow you to be you. Those are the big things for me. I mean, like, there's so many people that try and make everybody feel smaller. Mm-hmm. There's so many people that turn around and actually go, well, hold on, like, I'm not feeling very powerful today, so I'm going to put you down so I can feel more powerful. I mean, the big thing that's happened with COVID was all these middle managers and all these other people that have said, you've got to come back into the office. And everybody's going, why? I'm more productive. I've got more info. Yeah, but I don't feel powerful anymore. I don't have the connections. And, my mum was really impressed when I had 200 people and I could walk in. It's a bit like that old secretary pool. I walk past and everybody goes, oh, hello, Mr. Murray. It's redundant. It's so last century and it's not important. But who you should work for? Yourself. You should work for yourself. You should be the person that actually turns around and says, I can do this and I want to be the best version of me. Maybe nobody actually works alone. Whether you're the boss, you've still got the board, or if you're in the board, you've got the ASX, or if you've got the bank manager after you. Everybody's got to kiss somebody's ass at some point.
Yeah,
everybody's got a master, even if it's your ex-wife, if it's your ex-husband, whatever it is, you're working for somebody. So damn well pick the ones that you want to work for. Ronan, I mean, what do you look for?
For me, I really look for is this company doing something other than just making money? That's been kind of a key driver for me. I've worked in several organizations where I looked there and I thought, God, if I'm here in 10 years' time, just shoot me, because I'll become what these people are around me. So I just quit. I've quit on the spot, a couple of days' notice. I got a postcard once from a friend of mine. They said, oh, we've rented this house in India. Come and stay. I'm there because I hated my job. And my boss was going, well, what are you leaving here for? I said, well, hey, I'm going to India for 5 months. What are you going to do after that? I don't know. I don't care. But I didn't have the attachment to the job. I liked your idea about working for yourself, but also even within an organization, that is true. The relationships you have with the people are going to outlast you working for an organization. So you might work in an organization and think the only way to get ahead is just, they're to get the corner desk or to get promotion or to, most companies are quite flat. So you've got to screw everybody else. You've got to put them down. You've got to undermine them to get ahead. And then all of a sudden you put 5 years of your best time and effort into this organization. They go, oh, sorry, we didn't make $50 million this year. You're down the road. All of a sudden you've got no relationships. You've worked for someone you shouldn't have instead of working for yourself. That doesn't mean that working for yourself, to me, the way you said it, I think it's a great idea. It means that you work what's true to you. You look at the relationships and you work with the people around you that want to work with you. And that applies both internally as an employee and externally as well. Tony, a couple of weeks ago, you were talking about the example of the woman who left your organization, very much with your blessing, went to work for another company and left within about 6 weeks. So tell us more about that.
Let's just stop there for a second. You gave her your blessing because what, you let her out? You let the chain off or something? What?
It's more of
I can see you with holy water.
Future career. Yeah, there you go. No, Matt, thank you very much. Such an hour sometimes. Why does anyone tune in?
They don't. My mum doesn't even come anymore.
Yeah, your mum's unsubscribed. Yeah. No, so what we've been talking for a long time because she started working with me straight out of uni. Okay. And we always talked about her career and her progress and all, because I mentor. So I'm not just a boss. I'll be monitoring and talking, and I want to make sure they're making good life decisions and stuff like that with my team. And there was that discussion. It was like probably a year ago, maybe even more before this came up, where there was like, well, what do you really want to be doing? What type of size company you want to be working for, and what do you like when you close your eyes? What is a future like? What picture do you see? And there was a picture of her running like a team and managing a large brand like nationally and that sort of stuff. And I said, well, like that's not what we do here. So we'll have to start thinking about what we can do to get that dream a reality. And you can't just get that straight out of here, like because we're not that type of agency. So you'll have to find a stepping stone sort of career, next. And then it was like this year, we said, like, why don't you actually apply for something? Stop. We've talked about it for 12 months, like just go apply for something. And then she picked a job straight away. I guess what your point was, and this is actually a really good thing to bring up, Ronan, because you know how I said that you talk yourself into it when it doesn't feel right? That's exactly what happened to her with this job that she took. A lot of people around her were excited about the company she was going to, and that made her feel like she should be what she wasn't, if that makes sense. So, and then the culture wasn't right, and that's a big deal. And I don't think she even asked. I can't remember if she asked or even thought about culture, because she'd only ever worked for me, and we do have a very nice sort of setting here, so it's very comfortable, very open.
That's what you say, yes, yeah. The
you know what? Get them on, whatever.
Yeah. I'm the best boss because I'm the boss.
Tony, how long did she last in that role then?
Yeah, it was weeks. And 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. But like then. But that's she just started applying for other jobs. So if it's not right, apply for other jobs. And then she got some amazing interviews and started asking the right questions and doing the right type of work as well. That really stimulates your mind.
But you said something really interesting. I mean, like she'd come from a very safe environment with you, and I know you. I'm sort of joking around, but you've got a whole. You've got a whole ability to look after people, and that's what you want to do. when you're a smaller company, though, you don't always get the choices, because the guys that are probably really talented, they go after the money, or they go after the bigger companies to start off with, or they're offered more money for that. So a lot of the times, for me anyway, I got guys that were good, but they needed to be better. Or I got guys who were on a down. They used to be fantastic, and they've been kicked around and moved around, or run to ground, usually by poor management, who are always pushing and going down. Where I found the real ability was to pick people up. And I got what I'd call broken people. I don't know too many people that leave a company on a high. What I find is most people like the comfort of staying where they are. They like that relationship. They like that. There's not a lot of managers saying, well, you should move forward. This is your time. Or there hasn't been. What they want to do is hold on to you because it's easier, because it means that they have to do less work. They're going to train somebody up again. I mean, let's face it, when you hire somebody, most times you're 3 months behind. You wanted them 3 months ago, and now you've even got more work, and you've got to take that time off to actually go and help that person. So there isn't a lot of onboarding that's done very well. Or there's a lot of time that's actually spent. So people get kicked around and moved around.
But that's selfish. That's selfish. Like, so for me, not to encourage someone to leave because I don't want to deal with recruitment.
Tony, I get you, but I mean, most of the people will be opposite to you, and you'll see this. They come to you, and they are, and there's a pickup. So what we've got to be able to do is, who should you work for? You should be working for people that want to support you. And if you're not getting it there, don't take it with you. Like, I mean, if you leave one relationship or someone leaves you, it is a relationship in a job, because in fact, you're going to be there more than you've ever been. You have a choice. Unlike school, where you're forced together with 500 people, in work, you do have a choice to a point. But sometimes you do have to make money, and sometimes you don't think you're good enough, and sometimes your mental capacity isn't there to do more. So you take what's given, and those people take advantage of you. They put you down, they push you, and sometimes it's you. You push back and you push them because you want to be somewhere that you can't be. So it's not always managers and staff, and sometimes staff and managers. There's a whole gambit. Who you should work for, though, are the people that are like you, but also it's very important to have people that are very different to you and look and respect what they do. Too many people hire people exactly the same as them, and then they don't like the things that they don't like about themselves. They put back on that person.
So look in the mirror, yeah. One final thing I would say about this as we kind of wrap up is that it is about the beliefs that you bring. So anything from childhood right through to your experiences and other things that say, well, I could never do that, or I don't do that. So you'll settle for an organization, or you'll settle for a certain amount of clients that are playing in the wrong space, and it can incredibly challenge you to move and past that mindset and see the limited beliefs that you don't see. Other people see it in you, right? There's a famous quote is that the biggest riches you give to somebody is not to share yours with them, but to reveal their own. To uplift them and say, look, I see something in you that not everyone else sees. I'm your best champion. I'm your supporter. I'm going to elevate you. So to getting out of that mindset is one of the biggest traps we as humans find ourselves in, that we talk ourselves down. We think we're not good enough. And that implies both going for roles within an organization, but then also when you're running a business, of going after your ideal client versus settling for the wrong clients. So yeah, it's a two-way street. It's you pushing back on your limiting beliefs and being able to chase the real clients that are the people that you really want to work with.
Tony,
okay,
you go.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I was just thinking, and it's actually quoting you, so inflating your own ego. Oh, you know what? Stop it. Matt's an idiot.
It's true. Yeah. I am.
Let's finish on that.
Yeah, and we're out of time. So something you said, which relates to a boss, but also, I guess, people you could work with, all right, especially if they're in an upper position. So either a boss or a mentor or a coach or something like that. And something you said is that you look forward to the day that the person you're mentoring outgrows you. And I would find that rare in a lot of mentors. I think a lot of mentors get into the business because of their own self-worth and inflating their own ego. I'm being skeptical here. I know there's a lot that aren't like that, but there would be bosses like that too. So there'd be like managers that like to maybe have that ego hit and they don't look forward, and they're not, and that's why they wouldn't have a mentoring position as their management. It's just do this, do that. I'm right, you're wrong. It's not about, hey, where do you want to be in 10 years? And if you say working here, then there's something wrong with you, because
Tony, you hit it on the head, and I'll finish on this. But the American companies I've been working with, they actually have a mentor program where each manager has to have a mentor or somebody that can work with. There isn't an Olympic athlete that doesn't have a mentor or a champion to actually show them, usually somebody who's done it. And I think that's the key. It's usually those people that have done it in the past, that know what needs to happen or what needs to go through, that you look for. But you get a lot of people that shun that, or people that want to look at people getting smaller. So the best investment you can ever take is in you. And if you're not getting it from your manager, then look for somebody that can give it to you to take you where you need to go. There are too many energy vampires that will take stuff from you. But I notice this a lot with confidence is the biggest boost. With the phone call coming in, Jesus.
Yes,
my
having a stroke.
So no, the thing that comes from it all is I find a lot of people, and particularly like with my partner, she is amazing. If she could only see what I see through my eyes, and I think it's the biggest gift, to be able to actually tell people what they see. Now, most people don't believe it. Most people can't feel it. And I know we've all been through that, where it doesn't matter how many people tell you how great you are if you don't believe it. But try and find people that will help you to see it. And that will lead you through. And those are the people you should work for, because they will make the difference to your life and to theirs.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, chaps. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Catch you all in the next episode. Thank you.